You wouldn't believe it. Anta's death was sudden like a movie. Leslie, a town law office clerk, got stabbed one night years ago. He was attacked in the middle of the street in a critical situation, yet everyone around mistakenly believed he was merely a tenant. The third was Joe's teacher, found drowned in the lake. Everyone thought it was just an accident. In fact, the police found a high level of alcohol. Poirot had many leads, but they were useless. He needed more clues. Poirot decided to visit the law office where the clerk worked, hoping to uncover something useful. The old lawyer said the clerk was diligent and caring, but found him stealing before firing him. The clerk had already met his end. Poirot then asked the lawyer about Anta's case, only to get a surprising "not my circus, not my." The old lawyer claimed Anta's death had no suspicious business, considering her age. Oddly enough, the will she left behind left everything to the little maid, but after examination, it turned out to be forged. Everyone thought the maid was the culprit since she poofed away shortly after the incident. Time passed like a bad sitcom. Poirot's investigation stagnated. One day at church, he unexpectedly found Joe's brother wearing a flashy watch. He curiously asked if it was a gift, but the boy coldly replied that it was his own money. Poirot then asked about Joey. Surprised, the boy angrily said he felt no sadness over Joey's death, his sister. Poirot was taken aback. He started to wonder what Joey was like, that everyone hated him, including his family. Was there a deeper secret lurking here? After leaving the church, Poirot met with the priest and began his inquiry, who also told him Joey loved lying and boasting about others' experiences. Meanwhile, Poirot noticed the lady nearby, the priest's assistant and the teacher's friend, when alive. He politely greeted her and asked her about the teacher's drowning. However, she got emotional and stated it was just an accident and didn't want to talk about it. After saying that, she turned to leave, leaving Poirot puzzled. Was she hiding something? The scene shifted. Poirot was invited to Drake's house again. He learned they'd turned to Auntie 10 years ago. But shortly after, his husband died in an accident, and to this day he still had no clue who was behind the wheel, just that it was a young. After Auntie died, she left her fortune to Drake, her only relative. Poirot felt deeply sympathetic. After dinner, they headed to the garden but ran into Mitchell. Strangely, Drake despised him, telling him to stay away from his house. Even stranger, after Mitchell left, Drake told Poirot he found Mitchell's behaviour odd and suspected he might be the murderer. But Poirot swiftly dismissed that idea because he had checked and knew Mitchell wasn't in town the night Joey died. As time passed, Poirot still couldn't find the puzzle's key. Just when he was at a loss, Mrs. Ollie recalled something crucial right when Joey was murdered that night. She accidentally saw Drake in the living room, as if he witnessed something horrifying that made him drop the vase. More crucial, he was looking into the exact study where Joey was murdered. Thus, Mrs. Ollie suspected Drake must have seen the killer, but he also did. Why hide the truth? To clarify, Poirot sought out Drake, but Drake denied seeing anything. Left with no choice, Poirot had to take his leave. Just then he bumped into Judy's daughter, Miranda. They exchanged pleasantries. But when Joe's name came up, Miranda claimed they were good friends who often shared secrets. Poirot, curious, asked Miranda if Joey mentioned the murder. Miranda shook her head, saying no. Watching her walk away, Poirot felt he was inching closer to the answer. Soon after, Poirot obtained Anta's forged will annex from the inspector and found a shocking secret in the clerk's possessions. He found an annex of Anta's will in the clerk's belongings, and shockingly, it was identical to the forged one. Holding both documents, Poirot approached the old lawyer and informed him that the forger was most likely the now-dead clerk. The old lawyer looked puzzled and said the version tucked away by the clerk seemed far more realistic. Why hadn't he used it back then? Otherwise, he could have fooled everyone. It didn't make sense at all. As the old lawyer finished, Poirot seemed to realize, but Joe's brother was found drowned in the lake before he could confirm it. Upon hearing the news, Poirot rushed to the scene. Meanwhile, the inspector finally believed Poirot. The killer was not some so-called drifter. Thus, the inspector asked Poirot for help in uncovering the truth, assuring him of his. At that moment, Poirot saw the assistant nearby, perhaps moved, her face filled with sorrow. He knew she was thinking of the teacher. As Poirot approached, she firmly stated that the teacher's death was unrelated to the case. It was indeed an accident. Turns out they were a couple, but due to societal pressures, they couldn't take the pressure and opted for the worst. The assistant's reluctance to tell the truth was simply to preserve the teacher's last shred of dignity. After hearing this, Poirot felt a tinge of sadness for their love, but he had more pressing matters at hand, and that was to find the murderer as swiftly as possible. Subsequently, Poirot once again approached the priest, who mentioned that he wasn't able to locate Auntie due to the fact that she was extremely unstable at that time, rambling about some odd things. Later, as Poirot returned home, he unexpectedly encountered Mrs. Drake, who incessantly lamented that it was all her fault,